Hi, I'm Jessica Ahmed. Today I will be speaking with Professor Sushmita Rooj, who is the Associate Professor at ISI or the Indian Statistical Institute. She specializes in applied cryptocurrency and security, and she will be talking about some of the most pertinent questions surrounding blockchain today, including regulations, use cases, and the hurdles that need to be overcome for the proliferation of this technology. So stick around and find out more. Hi, Professor Rooj.
Hello.
Yeah. So let's begin the conversation with you giving us an overview of the regulatory scene in blockchain and cryptocurrency.
So at this point, different countries have different regulations about cryptocurrencies in general. And talking about India, we don't have any regulations as of now, and the government does not put a ban on cryptocurrencies, but these can be traded at our own risks. So it is not a yes or a no. The government does not encourage cryptocurrencies, but government does encourage blockchain technology in general. And cryptocurrencies can be traded or you can buy or sell cryptocurrencies at your own risk. But cryptocurrencies cannot be used as a legal tender as of now. And so this is about India. And I think different countries in the world have different policies. And for example, cryptocurrencies are very much legal in Japan or the US and many countries in Europe. So it is all about the government willing or unwilling to talk about cryptocurrencies. But in general, the trend is that apart from cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology as a whole is being encouraged by governments around the world.
Right. So can you explain the difference between VC and an ICO and which one is better?
I would think that the ICO is just come up because this initial coin offering that we have is it's interesting in the sense that people know what they are essentially doing, and they have a stake in the cryptocurrency or the technology itself. So in the type of VC funding, it works in a very different way, and again, both have their merits and demerits. And I would think that be it VC funding or ICO, they can have different aspects, and somehow some things might work for VC and something might work for ICO. So I think it just depends upon the individual choice that one has to make while choosing a VC or ICO.
Right. So apart from finance, which sector do you think blockchain and cryptocurrency will affect the most?
Yes, there are quite a few sectors. So supply chain, I think, will benefit a lot. And it means a lot to various various economies around the world, and different people have their own way of viewing things. Supply chain, as in not just big financial corporations moving goods from one place to the other, but very in the Indian context, for example, even what we have. If we can actually figure out how this this meat is coming to our plate is also very important. And over there, even you need to have you need to know what is happening, from where it is coming, what is going on in the middle. So as such, I think that the blockchain does away to some extent the intermediaries, or in some way regulates them. it means a lot to this sector. Apart from that, I feel that e-governance can have a lot of impact. Having your credentials being verified, but again it comes with a twist, because privacy comes into picture, and what you put up on the blockchain, what can be viewed, it really matters. Maybe one other domain that I would think is crucial would be that of this finance. It comes under finance, but this remittance and so on, these would actually make lives much better for different people. Of course, there could be various other use cases, like having data, handling large the data, and how essentially we can put data on the web. I think it's going to revolutionize many sectors.
Right. Speaking of banks, what the blockchain basically does, it takes away the third party fee, right? The charges become much lesser. So how is this profitable to banks? Why would they promote it?
Yeah, so blockchain essentially is believed to reduce the processing time, and because it does away with the with many of the intermediate tasks that are being carried out these days, I would essentially like to see some very good there is also a hype factor that is there, and realizing transactions on the blockchain might take a little while for people to get used to. However, it is widely believed that these can reduce the transaction processing time.
Right, but then is it profitable to banks?
Yes, it is, because earlier, whatever intermediaries that you would have to be that were involved, that would actually essentially reduce this processing time, and a lot of intermediate steps in between. So once things are take a shorter time to process, it of course is beneficial to the bank.
Right. So when we're talking about transparency and auditability, how transparent are blockchains, and how does it help in auditability?
Yes. Now there are certain applications where you need transparency, and there are some you don't. So, for example, I was talking about this, having your credentials on the blockchain. It makes things very transparent, right? I have my credentials on the blockchain, anyone can verify it. However, it comes with a pinch of salt again, like, how much I want to give out, what are the privacy mechanisms I should put in place in order to make it transparent. But at the same time, I should have some control over what I'm sharing. So yes, that's it.
The thing is, is it very expensive to move an existing infrastructure to blockchain?
It is, this is a bit controversial, in the sense that, the way things work, even if it's for the internet, if you want to move from one protocol to the other, and you have to move many things at the same time. So this change, if you want to move to a blockchain, this change will also require many things in between to be reorganized, and this would require some effort. And of course, it's not going to come with all the hassles, like having the trust on the system is also very important. So yes, this change will, of course, I mean, it will be beneficial in many cases, but yes, there will be a lot of it's not going to be very smooth. That's what I feel.
Right. So how soon do you think we'll see blockchain in our daily lives?
We are already seeing some. And I believe that we are going to see more in the coming days.
Where do you think we'll see it next? We have it in finance, and where else?
So at this point, we have finance. As I mentioned, a supply chain. There are a lot of initiatives in this. Various type of tracking, not just goods and services, but the goods, but other things like you can have car sharing. You have ride sharing. You can have distributed storage. You can have credential management, as I talked about. So there are, you name it, and you can have, you can fit a blockchain, you can have a blockchain enabled system. However, at that point, I would also like to say that um, just having it anywhere and everywhere is essentially not going to work, because we have to weigh what we can do with a blockchain and without a blockchain, and see what are the benefits of having it, how easy it is, how well it is going to adapt to the scenario, how easily it is going to be incorporated in the system, and whether the system at all needs a blockchain.
Right. So three terms, there is security, scalability, and interoperability. So
Mm-hmm.
can you explain these three in terms of blockchain?
Yeah. Um, let me talk about scalability first. I will come to security in a while. So scalability essentially means that the blockchain as it stands now, it essentially means that you have a distributed system, and if you have um, more and more nodes coming in, or more and more users coming into the system, it should be possible to work still. The way blockchain, many of the permissionless blockchains work is that it's the same blockchain that are hosted in different nodes, and as the size of the blockchain grows, it might be very difficult to maintain these. So essentially, what we need for scalability is that as and when more users come into the system, as the system grows, or as the it should be possible to maintain the robustness of the system. It should be able to incorporate this growing number of users, and also and not just users. I would say that the growing size of the blockchain. When it comes to security, as I mentioned, that it's the primary motivation of having blockchain is the immutability of the blockchain, and essentially it stands on some very basic cryptographic notions, and cryptography and security notions. So, for example, hash functions, digital signatures, and so on. And naturally, security is actually at the core of the entire blockchain system. Coming to interoperability, that's what we really look for. Um, we need it to be able to adapt to various applications, should be able to work in various environments, different scenarios, and across different platforms. Yes, interoperability is required. I would also like to say that something that we always forget about when we talk about blockchain is that this all of these things, these should be looked at in tandem. You cannot sacrifice one for the other, and these somewhat come there are some conflicting problems when conflicting things when you talk about these three things together. For example, if you want more security and privacy, then having it as scale, it needs a different set of algorithms, different set of mechanisms in order to do that. So I think these three things have to be kept in mind, and we have to design according to that would satisfy all of these properties, not just one or the other.
So, which are some of the pain areas in the proliferation of blockchain right now?
Um, I think one of the primary issues now is that, regulations, as we started with, um, and cryptocurrencies, apart from cryptocurrencies, many of the blockchain applications, they have a native cryptocurrency in place, and it only um, there is this problem now that whether we should have some native cryptocurrency or we could have something else like permission blockchains. They can operate without it, even. So designing, so the regulations is something that comes into picture. What is with the pain areas is to make the system very scalable, because you need to have good consensus algorithms in place, and naturally the questions are what would be a good design, and the other part of it is also the privacy, which is since we are making many things transparent, we might be compromising on the privacy, and this is something that we need to enforce. So there are various mechanisms of doing that. Zero knowledge, again, it comes with a lot of, sometimes with some overheads in the performance. So these are some pain areas that we need to look at. A bigger pain area, I would think, is that there is this hype about blockchain, and we do not even understand whether we need this on blockchain or not, and this is something that we need to identify and work accordingly, because in many cases it might so happen that you don't need blockchain at all, and you need something. In those cases we need to figure out that whether at all blockchain will be helpful or not. So yes, regulations, privacy, this scalability, and of course whether the application domain, whether it will make things any easier or not.
Right. So more and more fintechs are becoming blockchain centric. So what do you suggest they should look forward to in future? Will they grow? Will they shrink? What's going to happen next?
So I'm optimistic that things are going to um, going to be much better than what it is now, and of course we would see some fintech applications, be it cross-border remittance or even insurance going on the blockchain, and I do believe that this technology will have some very positive effect on fintech in general. So yes, there is a lot that we will see in the next few years.
Thank you, Professor Rooj, for joining me, and
Thank
hope
you.
to catch up with you soon again.
Yeah, sure. Thank you very much.
So that was Professor Rooj talking about the current blockchain scene and how it may unfold in the future. To learn more about blockchain and how it is revolutionizing different sectors, do visit our website and keep watching our channel for more such videos. Till then, goodbye.